Hey guys, this is Tom from the Strength Agenda. Just checking back in with you. Last week we wrote an article on gluten-free eating in terms of training, and this week we got an interview for you. The interview is going to be done by a friend of mine and also a teammate of mine on Team MDUSA, James Tatum. He is the 77-kilo champion from the American Open 2 weekends ago, and he's also somebody who I found out the other day by kind of talking through his wife that him and his roommate, Travis Cooper, another teammate of mine, they're very strict with the gluten-free eating. So here's the interview. Hope you guys enjoy it, and let me know if you have any questions. Bye. All right, this is Tom Soroka with the Strength Agenda. Today we are here with James Tatum talking about gluten-free eating and training and how it affects it. James, welcome. Thank you for being on the Strength Agenda.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
No problem. Let's start off with just a little bit of informational stuff. Can you tell us about yourself and how you got here and how you're doing, or how you got to what you're doing?
Well, I started off wrestling and powerlifting in high school, and had a coach all the way through high school and then through college doing powerlifting, and then I went to a CrossFit, kind of interested in Ollie lifting, so I took a 6-week class on Olympic lifting and then went to my first meet, and I really enjoyed it. It was a nice change from powerlifting. At that meet, I snatched 125 and clean and jerked 125.
Solid.
So I knew I needed some improvement, and then I tried out for the muscle driver team and made the team, and just going from there.
You also left out the fact that you just won your 77-kilo gold medal in the American Open this past weekend, or 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thanks.
All right, so the main reason you're here is I wrote an article last week on the Strength Agenda about gluten-free eating and how it can go hand in hand with the training. And it was interesting. I was talking to your wife the other day, and she mentioned that you guys eat gluten-free, or for the most part, you guys eat gluten-free. So I just kind of wanted to know, how did you get into that, or how did you find out about it, and why did you start doing it?
Well, my old coach that I trained with for about 8 years or so, he started getting into it when maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and he recommended it to me, and so I figured I'd try it. Funny story is I actually got bit by a dog.
This is an awesome story.
I couldn't bench press for like 2 months just because just the pain in my wrist from where the dog bit me, and I was just inflamed. Anything I did didn't really work, and then I went gluten-free for 2 weeks, and the pain started going away, and so I figured I'd test it. So I went out and had like a pizza or something, and the next day I tried to go bench press again, and I couldn't do it. So that was like my own personal test to find out if gluten was affecting my training or not. And as far as inflammation goes, it was definitely affecting my wrist as far as recovering from a dog bite.
Okay. In terms of like the gluten-free eating, like what do you typically eat? Like what are the staples in terms of everyday eating for you?
I usually eat pretty plain.
Yeah.
You can make gluten-free. Like some people will start eating gluten-free and their diet will turn into something so much more fun because they're trying all these new things. But for the most part, I'm not really into that. I like eating the same thing on the routine. I like in the morning to have my cottage cheese and banana. For lunch, I usually have bacon and eggs. For dinner, could be anything. One of my favorite meals for dinner is actually this stuff called muck, where we take refried beans, ground beef, and just mix it all together with salsa, and just mix it all together, and then put sour cream and cheese on top. And unless you're going dairy-free, you wouldn't do cheese, but and then eat it just like a big mixed bowl of muck.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Do you find it easy or hard to do? Easy or hard to eat gluten-free?
If you're going out to eat a lot, it's kind of hard, but you can go to certain restaurants and get gluten-free stuff.
Okay.
For the most part, it's pretty easy though. Like, it just depends on who you surround yourself with. If you're living with somebody who likes eating pizza every night, it's gonna be a little bit hard. Domino's Pizza has gluten-free pizza.
Yeah.
But it just depends on who you surround yourself with. But if you surround yourself with other people that are eating gluten-free, it's actually really easy and enjoyable.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I found out the other day that like more than half of our team eats gluten-free.
Mike, our 69, does. Your roommate Travis is really big because he actually has celiac disease. My wife has celiac too, so I eat gluten-free, and then I found out, you were. So I think that's really interesting. Obviously, when we go out, it'll be a little easier because
Yeah.
we'll be looking for some gluten-free menus and stuff. All right, now you probably might have answered this with your muck thing, but do you have like a favorite meal, like a gluten-free meal that have you ever tried to spice it up and just have this one thing you always come back to because you enjoy it?
I usually always enjoy muck.
Okay.
That's up there with the one of my favorite. Also, I just like steak on a grill.
There you go.
It doesn't get any better than that if
Yeah.
you're gluten free or not.
With facial hair like that, if you don't like steak, there's a problem.
Yeah, you might have some problems.
All right, now in terms of your training and recovery, what effects, good or bad, have you noticed in terms of eating gluten-free?
Usually, if we're doing a lot of squatting, the top of my knees, like my quadricep tendon, will just start flaring up.
Yeah.
And then I'll have to spend a lot of time in the morning just working on them.
Yeah.
Just so I can actually get down to the bottom of a squat.
Mm-hmm.
But then if I go gluten-free, I don't have as much pain there.
Okay.
Also, my back will sometimes it'll just be a little bit more stiff.
Okay.
But those are the two main things that I notice.
Yeah.
Just stiffness and inflammation in my quads.
All right. Well, now in terms of anybody else trying to either follow gluten-free, get on it, or whatever, do you have any like tips or advice that you want to give them?
Yeah, I would say look into it. Do that test for yourself. That's really the only way you're really going to know is if you can feel the difference.
Yeah.
Try it out for 2 weeks. Go no gluten for the whole 2 weeks, and then end of the 2 weeks, go out and have something like some pizza with really fluffy crust.
Yeah.
Because they usually use high gluten flour in the pizza to make it stick together and more fluffy.
That's interesting.
And the next morning, just see how you feel.
Okay. Well, James, thank you very much for doing this with us. I think our fans will appreciate it. Do you have any websites or anything projects you're working on right now that you'd like to plug a little bit while I got you here?
Yeah, I've got a website. It's called tatumtrained.com. And I also got a blog, tatumtrained.blogspot.com.
Okay.
Check them out. I got a workout up there right now, 4 weeks of Olympic lifting, 5 days a week.
Cool. All right. Thank you very much, James. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
So there was the interview from James. Hopefully you guys learned some things from there, and were able to take something away from that. For other nutritional strength training, recovery tips, all kinds of stuff along those lines, check out thestrengthagenda.com, and also follow us on Twitter on Strength Agenda, I believe is just the name. Any questions or anything you have, please feel free to contact us or email us. We'd be happy to answer your questions either via video or through an article or email. So get in touch with us, check out thestrengthagenda.com, and take care.